This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting, brought to you by Spreaker from iHeart. I'm Gavin Gaddis. But before I get into the news, I want to tell you about something a little different this holiday season, a podcast campaign to keep people home for the holidays. So many people are one crisis away from becoming unhoused, like Keone Washington, a young boxer who lost his mom to COVID and had to provide for his brothers. The podcast Sharing Stories gives a window into the lives of those people and how one-time rental assistance helped them through a tough stretch. They're encouraging other podcasts, perhaps yours, to spread the word about rental assistance this season. You could run a PSA just like this one in place of an ad on your show. More info in the link in the description or by going to seasonofsharing.org. With that said, let's get into it. Here's what you need to know for today, Tuesday, December 17th, besides the fact my voice sounds weird. Today, optional out from Ad Exchanger's Optimizing the News. YouTube has announced a new setting that will allow creators to opt in to having their content used for AI model training. According to TechCrunch coverage, the new setting in the creator dashboard gives a list of 18 companies partnered with YouTube to train their generative AI models, including Adobe, Amazon, Anthropic, and OpenAI. Given the trend of platforms quietly launching AI scraping as an opt-out feature, this YouTube feature reportedly requiring conscious opt-in is a welcome change. Next up, $1,000 for listing a podcast, Examining License Sync by James Cridland. The article is a deep dive into the actions of License Sync, a company in Italy sending multi-$1,000 invoices to podcast directories for listing 6 openly available Italian podcasts. Cridland lays out the details of the company's scheme, how that's not how podcasting works, and calls for a trade association to tackle issues like this as an industry. Beyond that, though, the existence of this piece proves what has been built with Pod News, a way for journalists to hold bad actors accountable and bring visibility to what they're doing. This isn't the first time Pod News has covered a bad actor, but it is a fresh example of why Sounds Profitable is a proud sponsor of Pod News and why we encourage others to subscribe and consider becoming a financial supporter. With support, journalists like Cridland can continue tackling important work in the industry. Finally, influencer shops hope to entice creators with talent platforms that offer CTV AI features. AI features, just because text doesn't always communicate in voice. The piece is coverage of influencer agencies branching out into the world of talent management, as well as developing AI tools and connected TV integrations to attract existing talent managers and brands into signing more deals with their talent. As generalized influencer agencies become talent management, podcast networks will likely feel similar pressure as the industry grows. In a world where anything and everything can be a podcast, networks will benefit from doing talent management and getting their hosts out in the world beyond their existing audience. As for the rest of the news, Lower Street's Brand Podcast Summit, a free virtual event on January 14th and 15th, will feature an exclusive debut of Signal Hill Insight's 2025 branded podcast benchmark report. AI-powered podcast discovery platform Deepcast has secured additional investment from Automatic and Idea Lab. Magellan AI has published their top podcast advertisers chart for November 2024, featuring Etsy, Uncommon Goods, and Bartesian as the 3 biggest movers and shakers in podcast ad spending last month. Podcasts have cemented themselves as part of the talk show circuit when promoting movies, such as Timothy Chalamet appearing on Theo Von's podcast this past weekend in an interview facilitated by Central Talent Booking. Podimo has published a report tracking 2024's global trends in podcasting and audiobooks, and Dear Media is putting on a Let's Be Honest live tour in 4 major cities this coming March. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The download is written and produced by myself, Newton Shuttlecotty, Brian Barletta, and Tom Webster. This episode is hosted on Spreaker. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us again tomorrow, if only to see what happened to my voice next time.